Hello again. Now, moving with the times is imperative for the growth of companies and industries. The switch over to newer technologies usually cannot be avoided. PwC South Africa, together with the Minerals Council of South Africa, have released vital information about the state of digital transformation in the South African mining industry. Senior Manager at PwC, Mackay, joins me now just to tell us more about what they have found. How is the mining industry doing when it comes to embracing the fourth industrial revolution? Ian, welcome to today, and thank you very much for your time. Just an overriding question first. Is South African mining sector moving the right pace in terms of innovating and embracing new technologies?
Absolutely. I think what people don't usually realize is that our South African miners have always been at the very forefront of technology in terms of their engineering solutions, their solutions around things like processing, smelting, and so on like that. So the big operational technologies have always been cutting edge. What we're seeing now is that they're adopting the 4IR suites of technologies, and they're using it to kick off and accelerate their digitization journeys. And what we found since the last study in 2021 is that now 4IR and digital is embedded in absolutely every single program within a mine. There's no more top-down initiative-based approaches. We're now finding digital as a de facto part of going mining. It no longer has to prove its value. 100% of the people that we have interviewed for the study actually are all on the digital journey and seeing benefits.
Yeah, just out of interest, do mining houses have something like a chief technology officer?
Yes, what we're seeing is actually we're seeing a big growth now in terms of things like your technology officer, your digital officers. So what we're seeing is a rise of different kinds of skills which are to do with the management and the understanding of big data. Really, if we think about what's going to be the most intensely managed part of mining over the next 10 years, it's going to be data. What we're seeing is that those are where all those new executive positions are coming in. We're seeing people that need to be able to sift through huge amounts of data to be able to give an instruction to a person who is at the face. So that ability to take huge big data but condense it down into an actionable piece of information at the workplace, that's what's absolutely key to mining, and that's what people are busy working on. And what they're finding is that there's value.
They're finding that there's value. But like every other economic activity or business, mining is about people, not just at the leadership level, but also at the workers' level. What did you find? What is the labor thinking about this? Because when you speak innovation and technology, labor says we're going to lose jobs.
I'm glad you asked this question, because we actually approached this to ask that question head on. We didn't want to dodge around it. We wanted to say, does digital cost jobs? And we asked the question quite straightforwardly. So what value is there for labor? We actually, the most powerful transformation story that we heard in digital came from a union, where they discussed a 15-year digital transformation that had absolutely no retrenchments, no importation of new skills, and yet achieved major benefits in line with the best in the world. When we asked them about their perception of digital tools, they said it gives us a large boost to real-time safety systems. It provides us instant communications, and perhaps most importantly, it's an enabler for developing people. And that's a very important point. We'll come back to that in a second. But to carry on with your question, it's not just about giving an instruction. It's about helping the worker make the right decision in real time. So our historical approach has been to say, do this by such and such a time, and I'm going to hold you responsible. Now we're seeing the rise of tools that help you to make your performance the best possible over the next hour. So how can I achieve it? It'll help you. So instead of just holding you to account or marking your homework, we're seeing the rise of digital tools that actually help the worker. And the unions picked up on that, and they think that is a fantastic development.
Yeah, I just wonder what about the attitude is. In the interest of time, Ian, let me come in here. Because the mining sector is traditionally a male activity. Over the years transformed. We've got more women being involved. But you need to attract talent. And if you are digitalizing at the rate that you say they are, I'm sure they'll be able to attract younger talent to come in and be able to retain them, particularly young black talent and women, for example. What are you finding out? What did you hear around the issue of attracting talent in an inclusive manner?
So the talent is actually a very difficult question. What we found out was that we as miners, we used to be competing with people on a regional basis for roles, right? Now, if we actually went and we looked at what are the top 10 most attractive employers for our mining graduates last year, and we found out that they said there were only 2 miners in the top 10, which was Sasol and Anglo American. But in that same list was Microsoft, Google, Tesla, SpaceX, Amazon. So 50% of the most desirable employers in South Africa to our mining graduates are overseas technology companies. And those guys offer remote work, which is fantastic in the context of mining. You have to actually go to the site. So we actually have to overcome a challenge, which we not only have to beat off those international firms, we have to find ways to attract those scarce skills to remote locations in South Africa. And that's not a trivial problem.
Yeah, and finally, very brief, if you may, Ian, the issue of ESG, environment, sustainability, and with all the climate change things that we're facing, what did you find? How are mining sector doing there?
In terms of ESG, what I can tell you is that it's a non-negotiable. People have a very different way of approaching it, and there's a lot of criticisms about it. For example, at the moment, all of our miners are using voluntary frameworks for ESG reporting. There are 4 available frameworks globally, and everyone just picks and chooses which one they want. Now, that means that it's not good apples-to-apples comparisons. So the reporting side, they had a lot of criticisms, and they said, we need to have one view which actually speaks to our South African context. So we need a regulation to step in there, right? But at the same time, they were unequivocal. ESG is not just about ticking boxes to South African miners. It is very clearly about the future. It's about creating a better and brighter future. Okay. It means things like green metals prices. It means getting better prices for your metals. And it also means social acceptability, which means attracting the right labor force.
Okay, yeah. It's good to hear that they don't look at ESG as a compliance exercise, as a tick box exercise. Thank you very much, Ian, for your time this afternoon. Ian Mackay is a senior manager at PwC, just sharing with us what they have found, what's going on in the mining sector in South Africa in terms of the 4th industrial revolution.